Yes. You got a question, sis?
I did. There are layers to my question though, so I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to be encouraged from my people, because it just seems like we're born into this destiny of oppression because of the disobedience to y'all's laws. So how come other groups of people are able to, and y'all's allowing it, to enjoy life at our expense? Why? And can I just be real raw?
Keep it a buck.
I almost feel like, why would I want to serve someone like that?
Excellent question. So your question is, why is he allowing the strangers around us to prosper and we are not prospering?
And they're not being held accountable because they're and it's not even about them prospering and we're not. It's they're off of us. They're prospering and they're being abundant and enjoying life at our expense. Like they're oppressing us and dehumanizing us.
Yes.
And it's happening and it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't find peace in that.
Exactly.
I don't.
So this is what we have to understand, several things, and you made an excellent point. And again, these are the type of questions that we need to ask in order for us to get back to the state that Yah intends. Because of so much damage that has been done to our ancestors perpetually, because the oppressors knew that these were people who were chosen. They have greatness in him. Every time I look at that slave, I'm like, damn, one day this slave actually realizes who he is, I may not be in power no more. And it wasn't just Europeans that got involved. There were Sephardic Jews that was also involved in the slave trade.
Right.
But a lot of these were converts, or they were people that were disconnected from the indigenous peoples. We have a situation where the construct that we live in is a supremacist type of construct for an elitist class of people, and they're designed to perpetually oppress the children of Israel because they know the moment that we wake up, they will no longer have power.
Right.
You got to keep this in mind. But that does not mean that we have to just suffer. Okay, let me say it again. When we go to a white Jewish community, they got everything on point. I don't know if has anybody ever been to a white Jewish community before? They got their own school, their own bus system, their own police officers, their own fire department, their own stores that has to be kosher. You can't sell in their community. You can't set up shop in their community. And the dollar circulates so many times because they follow a particular law that the children learn, because scriptures say that, train your children up, that they learn from birth, that the moment you come out that womb, only patronize your own. Right. So every time a person wants to start a business, the whole community has an obligation to support that business until it gets off the ground. And once it gets off the ground, the next person that rises up, they send the same resources over to them. We don't teach our children that as a collective entity. So we don't have autonomy because we have not rooted culture in our communities.
But we had that though. We had Wall Street, we Black Wall Street, we had Rosewood, and hundreds of other communities. And we understand cooperative economics and circulating the dollar. And like we get that. It's not like we don't understand it, but they just, and I'm not trying to say the word.
No, it's cool.
You know, I ain't saying, you know, but I know.
This is what I encourage you, sis. What you're saying is right up my alley. That's what I teach.
Right.
If that's what you're looking for, you found the right person.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you're familiar with my YouTube channel. Probably not.
No.
Okay, great. Excellent. Go back and watch my videos. Okay, I talk about culture, autonomy, and community, and I give you step by step how to do it and the places where it's actually working at.
Okay. But if we are strong, we can do it. Look at the Mormons and those people up in Pennsylvania, the Quakers and the Amish. Yep. You know, they have their communities and they support each other, and they are following their biblical tendencies and everything. So we just need to unite. That's what our problem is.
And if we go back to a common culture, such as what we follow in the scriptures, that is a way to unite us back to our ancestral lineage. Yes. They passed it down to us so we can know it today to say, listen, a problem is going to happen. A paradigm is a model that's designed to resolve an issue. If the paradigm doesn't work anymore, it needs to be modified or updated. But what they sent to us still works. The Most High, Yah's word, is eternal. It's perpetual. It still works. We just have to know how to practically apply it to yield results, so that way we can engulf ourselves with the blessings. Not just curses. We are entitled to blessings too, but we have to collectively come together as a community. We have to instill culture, and then we can be autonomous. And that's what the law tells us. It teaches us true love is sacrificing yourself for somebody else. It's selfless. Yes.
In American history, I'm not American, this is a dumb question. In American history, was desegregation pushed by the black man or the white man?
All right. So desegregation, and you're referring to integration?
Yeah,
integration. So integration. So integration was pushed by both groups, but initially it was not pushed by not native, but African Americans. I have a lecture that I did on this. It's called Picnic, Prison Industrial Complex for Negroes in Circumstance.
Okay.
And pretty much what I show is that after the Civil War, who had all the trades in the South? Who? Say it loud.
Black people.
Black people had all the trades in the South because they was doing everything on the plantation for the slave master.
Okay.
Slave master, all he was doing was delegating and supervising and managing. That's it. The only other white people that did have some skills were the indentured servants, but they were at the lower end of society, right? But they were indentured servants. That means while I'm working for the slave master, I'm his servant, but the moment I stop working, we are equal. So if anything happens to me by you, then the law's gonna deal with you. But if I'm black, doesn't matter. Whether we on clock or off clock, you're always gonna be subservient to us. So what happened was, blacks decided to move from out of their captive state, but they had to figure out what to do.
Right.
They were not galvanized, they were not organized. That's why you had a lot of people from the North that were coming to the South to try and help these blacks in the South organize. And the main thing they was taught is use your trades to build your own communities.
Right.
You think that the slaves wanted to say, oh, okay, I'm gonna go back and live with master. Matter of fact, he's gonna have a house right next to me. You think they was thinking that? No. They decided during the Reconstruction period, we're gonna do our own community, set up our shop, but they got federal aid to do so because the state was still trying to oppress them, right? So when you got to a point where we had the trades, we set up communities, now we had things such as we would say was Black Wall Street is a representative of Reconstruction. After Reconstruction was over, what we decided to do to pull our resources together. The problem is we were still right next door to our oppressors. That was a big issue, right? So now once we had the trades, now the slave master is like, man, you know what? We gotta find a way to get these slaves back. They created several things such as the Black Codes, the Vagrancy Act. How many of you heard of the Vagrancy Act? You know what a vagrant is? What's a vagrant?
Somebody hanging out.
Somebody that's chilling.
Yeah.
What do we call that today? If dudes is hanging on the corner, what do we call that today? Loitering. Loitering. So what happens is, you know, you have the ex-slave catchers who now became police officers. Let me say it again. Ex-slave catchers that now became police officers, and they'll see some blacks congregating, hanging out, and say, hey, are you guys working right now? Nah, all right, it's time to go to jail. Let's go. Come on. Like, what are you talking about? There's a vagrancy act, and if we don't see you working, you're going to jail. And then what they did was they initiated the convict leasing program. Have you heard of the convict leasing program? Where what happens is the private slave masters had their own plantations, own businesses. They get into contract with the state and say, hey, you know what? We still have uncultivated land, and these slaves are not going to do it on their own will. So how about we induct a program that whoever is a convict, because according to the 13th Amendment, slavery was involuntary, right? Unless what? Convicted of a crime. It was set up that way purposely, because they wanted to give you slavery by a different name.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, they bring you back on the plantation, and you gotta work there because you are a convict, simply because you was hanging on the corner. Black codes were designed to penalize you if you were unemployed. And you know how you gotta get unemployed? You have to pass the literacy test. You gotta give a resume. What slave master is gonna write on your resume? You know what? You know, Tyrone was an excellent worker. You know, when he was on his plantation, man, he did his thing. You know, the way he dug the ground, the way he sowed the seed, the way he took care of my home and served me, man, I'm gonna write this guy an accolade on his resume. You think the blacks were having accolades like that on a resume? A lot of them had to go back to state institutions and other corporations that were doing industrial and try to get jobs, but they have no resume. Who's gonna hire you? You have no resume. How's that gonna work? So the Black Codes was designed to disenfranchise us. Vagrancy Act was designed to disenfranchise us, and the convict leasing program was designed to put us back into captivity because the ex-slave catchers needed a job. So the state hired them to be police officers. Oh man, hope y'all know what's going on. You think this stuff that's happening right now is something that's new? No new thing under the sun.
I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but when the blacks went and fought during the war and they came back, things like the VA programs, you know, or where they get mortgage and all this, the blacks were not included in that program.
Yes.
It was all the white returnees.
There you go.
The black people were led.
Excellent.
So they came back and they were just as bad as when they were, before
There
they
you
go
go.
fight for the country.
Exactly.
They were in a worse state because now they don't have jobs and they
Why do you think
can't-
the Black Panthers were so influential?
And
Because these were people that was fighting in Vietnam, and they came back and they have no
and
rights.
they have no rights.
You fought in the war, don't matter. You coming back and you're fighting again here. So they said, you know what? Let's fix our community by ourselves. People only know the Black Panthers for being rebels and revolutionaries, but they had community programs, over 100 programs, where they took care of the community, so much so that the government modeled WIC after what they did, and the free summer programs all came from the Black Panthers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
So, okay, I don't want to speak for her, but what Ayana's saying, she's a skirt because we tried this, we tried that, we tried the Black Panthers, we tried Marcus Garvey, we tried Black Wall Street, we tried all these things, and we're still struggling. But I would say the one thing we haven't tried is keeping these laws, statutes, and judgments.
How come
We have not tried that.
How come?
Collectively.
How come? Oh, and it's just another question. How come we have that glorious responsibility to keep the covenant, and other groups don't?
Because we made the covenant. No other group entered into the covenant. No other group was delivered from slavery with signs and wonders. Yah has not had a relationship with any other nation like the relationship he has with Israel. So that is why we are held accountable to it.
But that doesn't mean that the people who are doing wickedness are going to escape.
No.
They're under a delusion
Yes, that's
because they
right.
believe that they're doing the right thing because the benefits are the ones that they've created for themselves to receive, not what the Most High intends for them. Matter of fact, the scripture says that the wealth of a sinner is laid up for who? The wealth of a sinner is laid up for who? He gives you provisions on how we can get to a state where we have breathing room to be autonomous until we are redeemed. So just because it looks despairing, and you look around, I'll give you, let's get a scripture real quick and I'll get you a question. Let's go to Psalm chapter 77. And then we're going to get Ecclesiastes. Scripture says, don't sit there and marvel because the wicked is getting wickeder and the wicked are prospering. Because the same concerns that we have today, this is how we know we connect to those people. They had the same exact concerns. They saw the wicked prospering and said, why is the wicked prospering and we're left here to suffer? That's unfair. So an answer is given to them. Let's read the whole Psalm 77. And I'm going to say this to you, sis. Anytime, and this is what I recommend to people who always see despair, read this book of Psalms. The same things and concerns that we had is the same things they had back. It's nothing new under the sun. And the Psalms wasn't just from one author. There was various people that wrote, where they was making songs out of the things that they were going through so the Most High can respond to them, and they got revelation and epiphanies, and they learned how to manage what was going on for their benefit. So read Psalm chapter 1, and this is Asaph. Psalm chapter 77, verse 1.
I cried unto Yah with my voice, even unto Yah with my voice, and he gave ear unto me. In that day of my trouble, I sought the Lord.
What? In your day of what?
Trouble.
You did what?
I sought Elohim.
No, I sought the government.
I sought Elohim.
I sought in the things that I own and
I
possess.
sought Elohim.
Go ahead.
My soul ran in the night and ceased not. My soul refused to be comforted. I remembered Yah.
You did what?
I remembered.
You remembered Yah when
Mhm.
that happened, and keep going.
And I was troubled. I complained. And my
You did what?
Complained.
You was happy with it.
No, I
You were
complained.
satisfied with
I
it.
complained.
We complain. It's natural. Keep going.
And my spirit was overwhelmed. Thou holdest my eyes waking.
Mhm.
I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, years of ancient time.
Uh-huh.
I call to my
Wait, you consider the things of what?
ancient times.
Things of old, ancient times. This is what we have right here. The solution is all in here. Autonomy, culture, community, everything that I teach is all as a foundation in the scriptures. Keep going.
I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search.
Your spirit did a diligent search, trying to figure out what to do. Keep going.
Will Elohim cast off forever? And will he be favorable no more?
Keep going.
Is his mercy clean, gone forever?
Whoa, is his mercy what?
Clean, gone forever.
Keep going.
Doth his promise fail forevermore?
Does his promise fail? And that is, he wants us to redeem ourselves. If you go to Jeremiah chapter 29, it talks about an instruction that Jeremiah had to give to the exiles in Babylon because they were in despair. They didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know when they was going to be redeemed. And you know what Jeremiah told them to do? What did he tell them to do?
Build houses.
Build houses. What else?
Arrange marriages.
Arrange marriages. What else?
Seek the welfare of the city.
Seek the welfare of the city. What else? Plant vineyards, eat from it. That means instead of us worrying about what's going on around us, we need to be doing something constructive that will distract us away from the worries and concerns that we have, because it teaches us that we have a method and a purpose and something that we have to accomplish, because it's a divine assignment that the Most High has given us. When we see despair, then we need to start building. That's an assignment that the Most High has given to us. Not to be concerned with everybody else, because a lot of times that's what we tend to do. And it's not that it's unfounded. It's just that sometimes we are so overwhelmed by what's going on around us that we lose sight of our purpose, our mission, our assignment, and our function. Keep reading.
Had Yah forgotten to be gracious?
Did he forget to be gracious? And see, just looking up there saying, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and chill, man. I don't care if I don't care if they're at the lowest ranks of society. I don't care. I'm just going to sit here and just not care. That's not the type of father he is. Keep going.
Had he in anger?
Whoa, had he in what?
Anger.
Did what?
Shut up his tender mercy.
Shut up his mercies. In anger? Is he not seeing what's going on? Keep going.
And I said.
What did he say?
This is my infirmity.
This is my infirmity. I'm laying out before you. Go ahead.
But I will remember.
Whoa, wait. Remembrance. Remembrance. You know who's responsible for remembering? You have a male and female. Masculine, feminine energies, aspects, and principles. Who's responsible for remembering?
Male.
Why? What's the word for male in the book of Genesis?
Zakar.
Zakar means what?
To remember.
Okay. You gotta look for the men in your community. Remember this thing. Why y'all not doing something? You as a woman should not feel helpless and vulnerable if there are black, strong men around you. They have to do what Yah instructed them to do to ensure that you feel a degree of comfort, sanity, and security.
That's a word.
But
Okay.
our black men have
That's a
been
word.
so browbeaten
They are.
Have mercy.
that they no longer feel that that is their
So
responsibility.
what we do is go to the good ones and strengthen them to be good ones to other ones.
Yes, yes.
We don't just look at the ones that are the statistics. We go to the good ones, strengthen and support them to lead the other ones who are going astray.
Oh, well, yeah, that is.
So that is our assignment. Our assignment is not to focus on the despair, focus on the purpose in the midst of being in despair. So if you see black men doing the wrong thing, but you also know some good black men, you make the networking connections. You help them out.
But some of them don't want help.
That's fine. It's not for everybody. It's for the remnant that need to be waking up. I wasn't always who I am today. I had to find an example. I had to find something to get me on the right path. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in front of you today. And somebody says, you know what? They're long gone. We're not even going to try to reach them. Where would I be today? There you go. Where would I be today? So we can't just sit there and look at the despair and just say, oh, there's no hope. How do you know if you haven't tried? Okay. Keep reading out. Yeah, I'm trying to help.
Bring it on.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting there. We're almost done. Keep going. And watch this. I'm gonna tie it back to the feast days. Keep going.
But I will remember the years of the right hand of
You're
the
gonna
Most
remember
High.
the years of what?
The hand of the Most
That's
High.
the power of Yah. Keep going.
I remember the works of Elohim.
Remember. Anytime there's a drought, you always go to the reservoir. Let me say it again. When it rains, you have to be diligent to keep a reservoir open to store rain, so when you don't see rain, you go back to the, and your memories is a reservoir. The Most High wants us to remember these things, so when we get into that state, we go back to the reservoir and we understood what once was, and now that we have what we have, what our objective and our responsibility is going forward. Keep going.
I will remember the work of Elohim.
I will remember his works. And what else?
Surely I will remember the wonders of old.
The wonders of old. Remember, the remembrance is going back to what he did, because if he did it then, he can still do it today. Where's our faith at? Keep going.
That's right.
I will meditate also.
I will what?
Meditate.
I will talk about it.
I will meditate.
I will complain about it.
I will meditate.
I will be bitter about it.
I will meditate also of all thy work and talk of thy doing.
And do what?
Talk.
Wait. I'm going to talk about the problems.
I'm going to talk about his doing.
I'm going to talk about the issues.
I'm going to talk about his
I'm going to
doing.
talk about those black men that's on the corner selling drugs.
I will talk about his doing.
Keep going.
Thy way, O Yah, is in thy sanctuary.
Wait. Where's your way at?
In thy sanctuary.
Where's your way at?
In thy sanctuary.
Keep going.
Who is so great, Yah, as our God.
Keep going.
Thou art Yah.
Key word is possessive. Our God. Keep going. Not the gods of the world.
No.
That's going to give them all the things that they want, and then we look to see the things that they have, and we want what they have. But our God has something that's set aside for us. Not just when we die, but also while we live. He came to give us life and that more abundant. He gave us a blueprint that we can also prosper until he redeems us out of this condition. Keep going now.
Thou art the God.
You are just one God.
The
A
God.
small God.
The God.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at a God, and I'm saying to you, look how big my problems is, and look how small you are. Because you know what? You ain't fixing these problems. Perspective. Keep going.
Thou art the God that doeth wonders.
That does what?
The wonders.
Little things.
Wonders.
Small things.
Wonders.
I can't see it.
Wonders.
Keep going. And we, slow down.
Word.
We just learned about looking at nature. That's a great thing. When you're despair, go outside and look, say, man, you know what? Wow, God.
Yes.
If this thing is so great and I'm so small, but you're mindful of me.
I
Keep
need
going
more
now.
preach.
Keep going.
Thou hast declared thy strength
You declared your strength. Keep going.
among the people.
Among the people.
Thou hast.
And he has to do it through somebody. He needs a vessel to do it. Keep going.
Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people.
Redeemed your people. Keep
The
going.
son of Jacob
Son of Jacob
and Joseph.
and Joseph. Keep
The
going.
waters saw.
Wait. The son of who?
The waters.
No. The sons of who?
The waters.
No, the sons of who?
The sons of Jacob.
The sons of Jacob
and Joseph.
that's who he's promising us to. Keep going.
The waters saw thee.
Mm-hmm.
Yah,
Uh-huh.
the waters saw thee.
Uh-huh.
They were afraid.
Okay, keep going.
The depth also were troubled.
Okay, now let's go to the verse 20.
Verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Thou leadest thy people like a flock
By
by
what?
the hand of Moses
It's
and
Aaron. Let's go to Psalm 73. I'm taking it home.
Psalm 73.
So again, family, when we see despair, it just means we have greater purpose. We have to be constructive and productive while we're in the midst of despair. Otherwise, we will be overly consumed and turn bitter because we will feel that we've been rejected. But when you are in despair, it is a reminder to you that you have a purpose and an assignment. And until you focus on fulfilling it, you will continue to feel unsatisfied, dissatisfied, and unfulfilled. Go to Psalm 73. We're going to go from here. Remember, we heard the sanctuary. The sanctuary is tied to the feast days. So here we're going to see something very key. Read verse 73, verse 1. Chapter 73, verse 1. Go ahead.
Truly Yah is
Truly
good.
Yah is what?
Good.
No, he's okay.
Good.
He's regular.
He's good.
He ain't doing nothing for me right now, bro. You don't understand.
He is good.
Keep going.
To Israel.
To who?
Israel.
To who?
Israel.
Who?
Israel.
Keep going.
Even to such as are of a clean
A
heart.
clean heart. Keep going.
But as for
Whoa,
me,
as for me, hold on now. The psalmist is keeping it real.
yes,
He's saying, listen, I know these deep things about how he is to other people, but as for me, keep going.
my feet were almost gone.
My feet was almost gone. Keep going.
My steps.
My steps had almost slipped. Keep going.
For I was envious.
I was envious of
as
who?
the foolish.
And foolish of what?
When I saw the prosperity.
When I saw the prosperity of who?
wicked.
Of who? Now you gonna make me preach up in here. Hold on now.
You already,
Slow
you
down.
already
Somebody
preaching.
got a cloth I can wipe my head
Brother,
with.
you already preaching.
We're letting the word do it. Let's go.
You already preaching. It's already happening.
For I was envious of the arrogant. I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Keep going.
For there are no plans.
No pain
In their death.
and they death. They're dying perfectly.
Yeah.
I lived a great life. I was prosperous. I'm being buried in my grave. We don't see what happens after that soul leaves that body. Keep going.
But their strength is firm.
Their strength is firm.
They are not in trouble.
They're not in trouble
As other men.
as black people are. Keep going.
Yeah.
Neither are the plagued.
Neither are they plagued
like other
like the rest of mankind. Go ahead.
Therefore pride.
Whoa. Therefore pride.
Compasseth them about as a chain.
And what happens when you feel that you don't have to worry about anything and you have everything? What's the next thing that happens?
Violence.
Violence what?
Covereth them.
Covereth
as a garment.
them by their garment. Keep going.
Their eyes stand out with fatness.
Their eyes bulge with fatness because of all the things that they have. Go ahead.
They have more than heart could wish.
Keep going.
They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully.
Keep going.
They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue
Okay.
walketh through the earth.
Keep going.
Therefore his people return hither, and water of a full cup are wrung out to them.
Keep going.
And they said,
Wait. Slow down. They said what?
how doeth Yah know?
And what?
And is there knowledge in the Most High?
These are the questions that we ask. Keep going.
Behold,
Behold.
these are the ungodly
And what
who
else?
prosper in the world. They increase in riches.
Increase in riches. They're getting wealthy and we're not. Keep going.
Verily I have cleansed my heart.
So what? Hold on. So Most High Yah, they're doing all these things, but I'm still preserving myself for you. What is in it for me? Keep going.
Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain and
ahead.
washed my hands.
Because he's saying it's not
in
doing nothing. Keep going.
For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning.
Damn, every time you gotta wake up, damn, I gotta go to this job again. And all these rich people out there, they ain't gotta go to work. Man, what's going on? Keep going.
If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offer against the generation of thy children.
Keep going.
When I thought of this, it was too painful for me.
Too painful or too troublesome in my sight. But wait. Read verse 17 slow, like your life depends on it. Until what?
I went into the sanctuary.
The sanctuary of who?
Of Yah.
And then what happened?
Then I understood.
You understood what?
Their end.
Their end. Wait, hold on. So the sanctuary, when we see the sanctuary, it is a reminder to us. Their end, you know why? What did Israel have to do when they sinned?
They had to go ahead and
Give a sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
But what do you do to the sacrifice before you get rid of it?
So they gotta kill.
No, before you kill it. What does it have to do with the Passover lamb?
You have to examine it.
Inspect it, but not just inspect it.
Make sure
Feed it!
Yeah.
Clothe it, make sure it's good, you healthy, you got no spot, no blemish. I'm gonna give you the best part of the house, you fatten it up. It don't know what's about to go down. It's thinking it's getting everything it needs until it gets slaughtered. And the first thing you see when you come towards the sanctuary is the altar of sacrifice. Somebody gonna get that message in the morning. Somebody gonna get that message in the morning. I'm gonna say it again. Just because the animal sees that it's being filled, it's being taken care of, it's being loved, it's being fattened up,
I get it.
and don't realize that it's about to be taken to slaughter because it needs to be a sacrifice for the righteous.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna get
That's
that.
a-
You're
no, I
gonna
get
get
it. That's
that.
a word.
Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading.
I got it.
Balling, man. Let's keep reading. Go ahead.
Alright, verse 18. Surely thou didst set them
that's a
in
word.
slippery places.
Hold on. So surely, Most High, you put them in slippery places. You think this planet is gonna maintain itself after hearing wars and rumors of wars? After hearing pestilences and famines? You think that the people who are rich are going to continue to be rich and all these calamities are coming upon this planet? You know the people who's going to be least affected? The ones that are least dependent.
Yes.
True.
Keep going.
Thou
Keep going.
casted them down into destruction.
And what else?
How are they brought into desolation as in a moment?
As in a moment. Keep going.
They are utterly consumed with terrors.
With sudden terrors. Things that just happen and they have no control. Your money cannot control your future. Keep going.
As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Elohim, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image.
Okay, keep going. Most High hates their image because they don't keep His statutes, laws, and commandments. Keep going.
Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my ring.
Keep going.
So foolish was I, and ignorant I was as a beast.
You know what he's saying? For me to even question this, look how foolish I look when I don't even realize that they're about to meet their end. This world is going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
This world's going to be destroyed. All these people that are sitting there eating, getting fat, they have no clue what's about to take place. Being that we are a child of the Most High and we are of Israel, He has given us all of the revelation that we need to know that when the signs come, we're going to say, oh, you know what, Yah? You're answering my prayer. Because I've so disconnected myself and engulfed myself in culture and autonomy and raising up my community, my children, by doing the works that you're giving me to do, that now I am so autonomous that when you start to destroy Babylon, it ain't going to touch me.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Thee.
Keep going.
Nevertheless, I am continually with thee.
I am with you. Keep going.
Thou hast hold me by my right hand.
Keep going.
Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterwards receive me to glory.
Keep going.
Whom have I in heaven but thee?
But you.
And there is none upon earth.
Wait, hold on. You got to read this slow.
All right. Now.
Read it again now.
Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire besides.
You gotta slow down. We have to get to a point where we have that same mentality. When you have that mentality, you're gonna be so exalted in a way to be an example that you're not even gonna be concerned with what's going on around you. Do we have that desire today? That we don't desire nothing else but Yah? How many of us can say that? I know I'm still working on it. Because I have things that still overwhelm me at times. But when I read the psalm and I realize that these people are not just a fairy tale story, they went through some real problems. And now I saw what was revealed to them, and I didn't have to go through everything that they went through to get it, because now it's been handed down to me today. And I said, you know what, at the end of the day, if I don't have Yah, I have to worry. But when I have Yah, I don't desire nothing else. Because any little benefit that I get is just designed to move my purpose forward until we get to the culmination with our redemption. We're gonna read a few more verses and I'm gonna end out.
Okay.
I don't want to just end off in a teaching moment. I need to ensure that people are equipped, empowered, encouraged, and after you leave out of here, you don't just know intellectually what this calendar was, but you know the word that Yah had for you today. Keep going on.
My flesh and my heart faileth, but Yah is the strength of my heart.
Keep going.
And my portion forever.
He's the strength of my heart and my portion, my inheritance forever. Keep going.
For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish.
And what else?
Thou hast destroyed all them that go a whoring from thee.
And last verse.
But it is good for me to draw near.
To who?
To Yah.
To who?
To Yah.
Keep going.
I have put my trust.
My trust in who?
Elohim.
No, what I see in the world.
Elohim.
The white Jewish community that's prospering.
Elohim.
People that seem that they ain't got no worries in the world and they got money and they got fame and fortune.
Elohim.
Why?
Yah, that I may declare all thy works.
All your works. He says, I'm going to make you great in front of kings and nations. They're going to wonder after you because they're not going to understand how do you have so much internal joy with so much destruction going on around you. That is because you have an intimate relationship with the creator of all things, and they don't. When it seems like people are hating on you, they're not hating on you. They're hating on the destiny that has been placed inside of you. They have not been called to do that.
That's
So I need you to stay encouraged and to know that every time you think about these feast days, it's going to remind you of what is to come, which is greatness that's in store. But the period of time, the waiting process is to teach you patience and self-discipline. And once you have these things, then you can focus on Yah. And then as he's giving you benefits, he's not going to just let you sit here and suffer. He is giving you benefits. Then when the time comes and the consummation happens, you're going to say, you know what? I was complaining for nothing. Why would I allow bitterness to seep in and remove me from the promise that Yah has for me? All because I've lost sight that when I have Yah, I don't have to desire nothing else.
That's right.
We didn't have a choice following the Gregorian calendar. Who came out the womb and said, you know what, I'm going to follow the Gregorian calendar today? Nobody did that. We learned these things, right? As we grow up in a society where we're still captive in. Anybody that tells you that you have true freedom, they don't know what the word means. You don't have full freedom. And you're not going to have full freedom. Because it wasn't meant for you to be fully free. It was meant for you to show the world what Yah has and what he will do, so that way he can sustain you in the process of your purpose and then reward you when the time comes. I don't teach people that you're going to get everything when you die. I don't teach that. That's what the church teaches you as they take your money. I don't do that, and I'm keeping it real. I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but don't just keep selling me hope and taking my money. And you living in the, you have the Bentley, you have the mansion, you eating these expensive restaurants, and look at me. I'm on Section 8, right? I'm getting welfare. I'm taking a bus to work every day, and you not doing any of this. Don't sell me hope. Give me a plan. How can I be as prosperous as you? Don't tell me I ain't got enough faith like you do. Well, let me stop paying my tithes, and all of us stop paying. Let's see how much faith you got.
Preach.
Okay, fam.
That's
I'm
a
sorry.
word. No,
I'm sorry.
you're speaking
I'm
a
just
word.
keeping it in a buck. So what I do is
word.
I give people a blueprint. If you want to be prosperous, here you go. I give you a plan. I lay it out for you. Go to my YouTube channel. You can write it down now, sis. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see I give you blueprints on how to come from the bottom and get towards the top. I'm not telling you that you're going to get away from captivity. I'm telling you you're going to have a quality of life until you are redeemed. Because if I'm following the law, why can I get the blessings? And I'm not getting the blessings in a secular sense that the preacher is telling me. I'm keeping the statute, laws, and commandments because I am installing culture in order to be autonomous. And then I'm teaching my children to do the same so the next generation can also patronize one another.